Hello guys, welcome to our channel of Sciences and Mathematics. We're going to deal with the last part of organic compounds that we had left out. That is a summary of the nomenclature of benzene and aromatic. Of course, this is going to represent aromatic compounds and similar ring systems. So for that case, we shall be mentioning about 10 maybe new idea that may come up with different ring systems that are, of course, having a different structure other than benzene. But we are going to discuss benzene as a general example of aromatic compound. So without further ado, thank you and welcome. So for that case, because this is a last bit of a summary of the nomenclature of organic compounds, we are going to discuss about benzene, which is of course an aromatic compound. And as we have said, it is going to represent other similar ring systems, so that as we mention one or another, we'll be in a position to remember the rules which are applied here. So for benzene, as we said, is an aromatic compound. It's a cyclic compound that is made up of 6 carbons and 6 hydrogens as per this structure, and there's an alternating single and double bond in this structure. So benzene has a unique or a characteristic way of naming that at these specific points of the carbon atoms, as I've drawn on the right side of this particular molecule, there's a benzene ring which has substituent X at this point. So we are going to refer to point, this is, if we name it clockwise, then we shall have at point number 1, point number 2, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So at this point number 2, there's a substitution. If there's a substitution at point number 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, point number 2 and 6, at that substitution at point number 2 and 6 is referred to as ortho. And then at number 3 and 5, at that substitution at point number 3 and 5 is referred to as meta, while that is the opposite with respect to X. All these points are with respect to X. So this point that is opposite X, a substitution at this point, which is number 4 from point X, this is 1, 2, 3, 4. At this point, a substitution at this point is known as para substitution. So for benzene ring, of course, the parent name is benzene, or common names for substituted benzene. Of course, we have examples like toluene, aniline, and other examples which we are going to look at, which are substituted benzene. Substituted means that in case there's maybe a chloro group or a methyl group at this point, then we shall have a specific name for this particular kind of a compound in general. So that is what we refer to as a substituted benzene. Of course, we have said that there are different, at these particular junctions, there are one hydrogen atom at these specific points. So they'll be substituted by another compound, maybe chloro, bromo, methyl, etc. Numbering for the substituted benzenes, we use ortho, meta, and para typically. That is for the positions that we have mentioned. For example, we have this first compound that consists of a bromo and a chloro group. Now the naming for this also obeys the rules that we have stated for aliphatic compounds, and then we shall start the counting from the bromine, which appears first in alphabetical order. So we have 1, 2. So it is a bromo-chloropenzene. We start with bromo-chloropenzene. Now designating the position of this, we said a substitution at this point number 2 is known as ortho, or at the substitution at point number 1, 2, then we shall refer to this as ortho. So we have ortho-bromo-chloropenzene. A substitution at this point number 3, either at this point if we go clockwise and anti-clockwise at this point, then that's substitution at this and this, we call them meta. So this is meta, and following alphabetical order for constituents, for substituents, then we shall have meta iodo. I comes before N, iodonitro-benzene. And then this one, which is opposite with respect to chloro group, is a nitro. So it comes second on the alphabetical order, so we shall have para-chloro-nitropenzene. So the functional priorities, as we have said, is the same as those one in alphatic and aromatic nomenclature that we said. So for instance, we have these two particular compounds, and then for the first one we shall follow the order. Of course, as I said, there's a specific name we use to substituted benzenes. Like for instance, the one that we are going to have here, if it has got an amine group attached to this, of course this nitrogen has been substituted by a methyl group. But if it is NH2, then we call this kind of a compound the structure, excluding the chloro and chloro. If the structure add a benzene and then NH2, then we shall call that one aniline. And if the structure has got a benzene and a CH group at one point, we call that one as a toluene. So for that case, we shall treat the rest as substituents. And in this case, the naming starts from this point. So we shall have 1, 2, 3. There's a chloro at point 3. And then chloro at point 4. So it's a dichloro. So we shall have 3,4-dichloro. And then we said that if, in case there's a substitution that happens at the amine group, we start that one by naming using the initial N. So this one will be designated as 3,4-dichloro N-methyl. This methyl group has substituted a hydrogen. N-methyl aniline. Aniline now refers to this substituted benzene, as we said. So for the second one, we have a nitro group at point number 2, point number 4, and point number 6. So these are tri-nitro. And then this substituted benzene is known as toluene. So we shall have 2,4,6 trinitro toluene. So in summary, this substitution that, of course, this designation that we are going to give to benzene family, and maybe some aromatic compounds that we are going to mention later in some of our videos. So in this case, we shall be using the same format for other benzene systems, or the same designation for other meta and para that we have said. And then the other priorities, as we said, they follow the same format as other alphatic or aromatic nomenclature in that case. So for this case, that's just a simple summary of naming of benzene and the family that falls under it, which is of the similar ring systems. So in that case, thank you for watching. God bless you. Bye.